With the release of Pokemon Bank, finally, I'm now able to transfer my whole team, my old school teams, to Gen 6. This is Mega Man NG and welcome to another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. This is the first battle that I'm using a completely different team. In fact, it's a team from when I had Generation 4 in Pokemon Battle Revolution. This time around, we're taking it up a notch with Gen 6. I start off with Roserade, he starts off with a Skarmory. And I pull a sleep powder because I don't even want to know what he's going to do. Most of the time, Skarmory will mostly use the rocks. And the rocks are always dangerous to deal with, believe me. It's fast asleep, thank goodness for that. Because now I can switch out without the worry of getting pelted by rocks or anything like that. And I send out another new member that is about to make an impact. Electivire. And this Skarmory's fast. It really is. And I go for a Thunder Punch, hoping that I can take this dang thing down in one hit. To my surprise, I don't. And it's still fast asleep, and I'm surprised it slept that long. Well, at least it's a good enough excuse for me, because now I can at least dish out more pain to this guy. I go for another Thunder Punch, and that takes out Skarmory. It's a 2-hit KO, but it's pretty much worth it. Worth it because now I'm able to attack and battle at my leisure without any regrets. And he sends out another interesting Pokemon, Tauros. And this Tauros is a shiny, though not that really great. He gets the Intimidate off, which lowers my Electivire's attack. And I make the switch thinking that he's going to pull off an Earthquake or something. I switch out to one of my most trusted Pokemon, Staraptor. And Staraptor's Intimidate kicks in, lowering its attack. And as I thought, he gets the Earthquake, but it doesn't work. He makes a switch, which I'm beginning to wonder what he also has on his sleeve. And he sends out Rotom, and it's a shiny Rotom W. I go for a close combat, and yeah, a Staraptor with close combat, that's pretty surprising. But it doesn't really do that much damage because it doesn't have its choice band. I go for the U-turn at least since I'm faster than the Rotom, but at least I'm hoping it's enough. I make the switch, and I'm thinking to myself, this guy may either have a Thunderbolt or a Volt Switch. And I'm beginning to wonder to myself what he has, so I go into Electivire, and he actually goes for the Will-O-Wisp. And the Will-O-Wisp is not going to help me out, since now my Electivire is burned. And with it, its attack strain's about to hit the gutter. But regardless, I'm not going to give up, so I go for a Brick Break, and the Brick Break doesn't do much damage. But he goes for a Hydro Pump, which does a lot of damage, but it doesn't kill it. It actually survives, which is enough for one more turn. And thank goodness for it, because I pull off one more Break, and I at least take down that Rotom W. But not before Electivire goes down with it from the burn. I'm happy with that, I really am, since Electivire did its job. It has never let me down in Gen 4. Ever. So I now go into Roserade, and I'm wondering what he's going to do next, and he goes into his Gengar. And this Gengar is also a shiny. I make the switch because I don't even want to know what he's going to do next. My guess he'll use like a Psychic or something. And I go into Staraptor, and I get the Intimidate, which lowers the attack. And I know that Gengar is shiny, but what happens here? Well, yeah, now this thing is starting to scare me. That is Mega Gengar when it's shiny, and it just scares the ever-living heck out of me. He goes for the Shadow Ball, and it doesn't work, but instead he goes for the Sludge Bomb, and that takes down my Staraptor in one hit. Ugh, I tried. My Staraptor's not fast enough. So I send out one of my most reliable Pokemon, Alakazam, and he's thinking a Psychic. He makes a switch, and unfortunately, it ends up becoming a big mistake. Why do I say that? The answer's simple. Mega Alakazam. He gets a Mega upgrade. And not only that, he ends up getting Trace, which becomes a big problem for this guy. Because now that he has Speed Boost, basically, he can keep on going faster and faster. He goes a little something like this. Alakazam plus Trace with Speed Boost ends up tracing it, and he gets more and more speed every turn. I'm at +2 speed. This guy's at +1 speed. Not that it matters, because for the rest of the entire battle, Alakazam is going to sweep like it's no big deal. Nobody's business, to be exact. I go for the Dazzling Gleam, and that takes down my Sharpedo. Takes him down without much of a sweat. I'm now at +3 speed. Just watch this. The rest of the fight is just going to be all one destructive blast after another. He sends out his shiny Mega Gengar, but unfortunately, it's not as fast enough as my Alakazam, of course, and I take down his Mega Gengar without much of a sweat. One hit Psychic, bye-bye. and now at plus 4 speed. I'm too fast now for my own good. So he sends out his Tauros, and his Tauros may not really do much since he has the Intimidate, and that lowers my attack. It doesn't work. I now go for a Focus Blast, and the Focus Blast, despite having a really cool animation, takes down Tauros in just one hit. Swept like a rug. Swept like a bug. I don't really know how it's supposed to be sounding like, but hey, it is something. And he now sends out a Zangoose, and a shiny Zangoose? This guy must be hacking shinies or something. I go for a Psychic, hoping to take it down in one shot, but it doesn't. It hangs on by a thread, and he goes for a Night Slash, which doesn't kill my Alakazam, but he survives barely. And despite having now plus 5 attack, is almost at the max, it gets the Toxic Orb, and this is where the battle ends. It takes him down, takes down my Mega Alakazam, but unfortunately, the Toxic Orb takes down my Zangoose. Not a very good idea to have, since it's done. Battle's over. I had a good battle. It was pretty good. You actually get to see what my Mega Alakazam is capable of in the right hands. Very deadly. I ended up having another battle with him, but that one got me so angry. I was literally PO'd. You're going to have to see it to believe it. All right, that's about it. Thank you very much, Ethan, for taking part in this battle. And if you enjoyed this battle, hit that like button. It does mean a lot to me, to my opponent, and to everyone who watches it. And I'll see you guys next time. All right, later.